Hello, my name is Terry. This video will cover the Pythian Castle investigation which occurred on May 14th, 2022. This will be part 4 of a 5-part series. This footage, which will be all inclusive of the 3rd rotation footage. The first group of clips is from the tunnel area. You'll notice that there are several EVP voices asking for help. We believe this is to be tied with deaths that occurred when a boiler or a pipe ruptured down in the tunnel.
Take pictures. I want to see someone finish.
One of the guests down in the tunnel asked Mr. Boots if they could hear their footsteps or make a sound that they could hear. He responded by banging on the pipes. What's interesting is Mr. Boots chose to bang on the pipes instead of producing the sound of his footsteps. I wonder why he chose to produce evidence of this nature by hitting on the pipes instead of following through exactly on the request that they made about hearing his footsteps.
Mr. Boots, if you're down here, can you do some steps and let us hear you?
Isn't Mr. Boots supposed to be down there?
I'm recording verbally like I told you not to. Come on, you're gonna stop that and start the video. Now, there you go. On the street, you know.
Oh, did you hear that?
Did you hear that? Oh.
Mr. Boots, is that you?
There's no one else in here. Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Boots. Enjoy your evening. Hello, Mr. Boots.
I was just here. I'm really scared to go back because I don't want to get admitted.
The following group of clips is from the panic attack room. You'll notice that there are 2 very different ghosts responding to our requests. One a very pleasant ghost that even says that he likes one of the people in the room. The second ghost is the one I'm more familiar with. He's a very angry, pissed off individual. I know he doesn't like me specifically because I bring people into this room. You'll notice that this ghost, when he's interacting with us, is very rude and obnoxious and insulting, and he's also swearing. Does someone want to try sitting in the chair?
Sure.
Yeah, sit in the chair.
Oh, crap.
Cards and grays.
Bounce it up.
Cart?
Cards, like playing cards.
Oh.
And grace. Like show me grace.
Yes, no, it's not the most comfortable chair. It'll never replace Lazy Boy. Hey, what did that
Well, it
just...
says sift. It says sift. I thought it said sit for a second.
What is it?
It says
Sift.
Sit.
I keep restoring.
Okay, I thought he said sit. She actually was just sitting down.
I keep restoring it, and it actually says stuff, but.
I gave the young man in the room an Ovulus device. This produces words for the entities to speak through. You'll notice that just as he sits in the chair, it says seat in acknowledgement that it sees what he's doing.
Just remember, we don't take things home.
Yes, just leave it in that log because it's storing every word that's being
Yeah.
seat.
Now, is it better with the flash on or off for the, taking a picture of boots?
You can use the flash actually.
Okay.
Yes, and you'll see things ranging from light, there'll be like lights down there, to a full human figure. In this room, it put its hand on this man's back, and it left a paw print. There was a man standing in this corner, and he said, "Someone just touched me on the back." And I asked him to spin around immediately. I wanted to take a look. It left a handprint on his shirt. And how it did it is, there's plaster on that wall. Somehow it had scooped up a handful of plaster on its hand and then went like that on his back. It was a right hand. All the fingers was complete.
They see you and think it's cool to hear the community down there. Thank you.
When I was entering the kitchen area, I encountered a group of people who had just left the tunnel. They told me that they had heard Mr. Boots banging on the pipes down there. Attached to this is a clip from the tunnel of something banging on the pipes. I believe this is the exact time frame from when they were down in the tunnel, but there were a couple banging on the pipes, so I can only guess that this is the exact timing.
We heard Mr. Boots, guys. He knocked on the pipe while we were in there and this turned blue.
Yes. Yes, I'm going to go down to the tunnel and ask him to come and join us. When we went down into the tunnel, I captured several EVP voices. Also, there is a booming sound which Mr. Boots produces. I believe that this is their way of telling us how they died by replicating the sound of an explosion of a pipe or boiler down there. Many people were being physically touched down in the tunnel. It usually manifests itself as the sensation of walking through cobwebs. What's also interesting is one man specifically describes this sensation while standing outside of the one cell that's painted like a Japanese prison cell. This is very unusual for this particular room, but different things happen at that end of the hallway. There's also a disembodied voice that occurs down there from time to time. People down in the tunnel often experience different physical side effects. Some people were reporting feeling dizzy, others were reporting feeling headaches. One man was also feeling a pain sensation in his arm. These things are all very common down in this tunnel. I don't know if what it's doing is it's trying to relay the pain of when they were dying to the individuals who are sensitive to it down inside the tunnel. There's like a little area that's a little bit roomier, so if you feel claustrophobic, I'll let you go ahead of me.
No, you're fine.
Hold my arms in the back.
I'll get the triangle bell and say, yell, "Come and get it." Fresh meat.
Right. Are we here?
Are y'all
Oh.
coming down?
Over our heads is the military building that's out back. It was a combination of, they had boilers for heat and for generating power. And the steam went through these pipes.
Okay.
And and this is what, we've had the best sensitives. Did you hear that? Did anyone do that?
No.
We didn't.
I think they like for us to talk. And
Yes, I think they like to chime in. They like to hear our conversations.
If they're in a mood.
You okay? Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but like the temperature is rising like a lot.
Yes, it is. Now, I know that's a lot of body heat, but yeah.
It's kind of cool where I'm at.
I'm like,
No, it's just good to notice those little things.
and I keep feeling the spider webs on my face.
That's the most common form of physical touching
I
is
feel it
not,
on my right side,
it's not, did you hear the boom?
faintly.
Cobwebs. There are no cobwebs down here, but when you're being touched, it'll feel like spider cobwebs.
Well, then I've been
Just
being
said
touched
that at the
this whole
beginning of the tunnel. That's what was on my elbow when I was walking
Yes,
to this.
that's the beginning of being touched, is it
Before we got
What did I just say?
blind.
blind.
It's because it's dark.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not wrong.
No,
Mr.
Right.
Beats is giving me sound.
right past the Japanese prison cell. That's, I was trying, I felt like I had cobwebs all over my elbow.
Yes, and that's the dominant form of being touched. It'll feel like you're wanting to swat these cobwebs away,
Okay.
but you can feel it.
Yeah, it was driving me nuts. I was took on trying not to brush it.
Down my leg.
And the other thing is physically being touched or poked.
So
Now calm down, you know. Yeah, bring it down, you know.
I haven't had it since we've
Nobody's
been in the
ever been
tunnel.
hurt.
So
It's
we're
just
good.
a white
Nope,
sensation.
you're good.
I'm feeling pain in my left arm.
Tell, you can tell them to stop.
Oh, you're feeling something in your left arm?
My pain is like hurting. I don't know.
Try to tell them to stop. They're not
Oh.
allowed to hurt you.
I mean, I'm not like in a lot of pain. It just sounds like, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't think.
Do you need to get out?
Yeah,
Let's let her back. Let's let her back.
Oh, a question. Why are you feeling the need to leave? Is it claustrophobia or?
I feel
Dizziness.
really dizzy.
Do you want to
That's
take a
very
moment
common.
and try and calm down, or do you
She
want
has a
out?
sensitivity to it.
I set up a millimeter to record all of the readings that the guest was documenting at the end of the evening. When I retrieved the numbers, I was shocked at what I was getting. The EMF meters were off the scale on the level of milligauss readings. It was phenomenally high, and the temperature variation between hot and cold seemed to be unusually wide. The high temperature, which is quite warm, I expected, but there were also cold temperature readings far lower than what I would have expected anyone would have counted on such a warm night. 88.5 for the maximum temperature. Milligauss, 73 milligauss?
What does that mean?
That's unbelievable. 67.9 for the low and 88.5, but someone had a spike of 73.2. That's unreal.